This electric scooter has the most unique suspension system we've ever tested, and on top of that, our impressions will decide whether or not it gets carried by one of the major e-scooter dealers in the United States. All right, guys, a new year brings a new scooter. This is the Blade X, and while it isn't carried by anyone in the US, we have the opportunity to unbox it, put it together, and give you guys our impressions on what we think of this scooter, because what we think of this scooter has big implications.
Eon Motors sent this over to us to test and review. Kreo Motors sent us a battery to put into it because they had to air freight this and they don't allow this big of a battery in the cargo planes. Basically, if we like this scooter, Kreo Motors will order a full container of this and start selling it.
So we're gonna go ahead and unbox this and the battery, which we have right here.
Yeah, we'll go ahead and get this party started. Awesome. Got our user manual here. Charger, it's a 2 amp charger and 67.2 volts, so this is a 60 volt scooter. Oh, what's really neat about the scooter, it's sine wave controller, so it is supposed to be very smooth. This comes in two versions, a 23.4 amp hour version or a 28.8 amp hour version, and that's an LG battery. Supposedly the 23.4 amp hour version is gonna get you about 50 miles of range. The 28.8 amp hour version is gonna get you 60 miles of range. And they did provide us with an extra controller too. So the controllers that come with the Blade X is a 30 amp controller. They did send us a 40 amp controller. This is on their newest scooter that's gonna be the Blade 10 GT, but they sent me new controllers to see what the power delivery would be like on the newest scooter. This suspension is what makes the scooter very unique. As you can see, it's horizontal.
The unique front and rear suspension design on the Blade 2 is very similar to the much more expensive high-performance Dualtron X2. I'm excited to see how this difference in positioning for the suspension coil will change the ride feel, if it'll change it at all. It just looks like it's gonna be a lot easier to access and to change, upgrade, adjust.
And I would assume that you should be able to switch this out for like D&M suspension or some type of adjustable hydraulic suspension.
It was packaged pretty well. No major damage to the scooter that we could find so far. The only thing is it's covered in little particles of styrofoam. But what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna vacuum this thing clean. I did spot something while I was cleaning it with the vacuum, and you can see here that some of this labeling has come off. Over here you can see this adhesive has come off here. That's an easy fix.
Yep, it's an easy fix, and we're gonna open this thing up anyways because we need to stick the battery in it. This is called a Fix-It stick. It's pretty amazing. It's by far one of my favorite tools out there. I've never stripped a bolt with this tool.
And what we have in this box is the battery, because this is air shipped to us, and the battery came separate. So we're gonna go ahead and open that and install it. And while Andrew's doing that, just to be clear, you guys at home, if you purchase this scooter, you're not going to have to do this because your scooter will not be air freighted to you. It'll be shipped traditionally with the battery installed. I feel like we're in some thriller movie where we have to decide which wire to cut.
Wouldn't do that, not unless I knew which wires for what.
There it goes. We have power.
So this is a great looking scooter. It does not belong on a table in my living room. It belongs out on the road. So we're gonna take it out and do a quick walkthrough. Let's go. Once it's put together, it looks really good.
Let's see if there's any stem wobble, which there's no stem wobble, so that's
Solid.
nice. Our brake rotor might have gotten bent on the way here, but we'll see.
Let's start from the top and we'll work our way down and talk about this scooter.
You have the keyed voltmeter, so it's really nice. It shows you what voltage you're at. Pretty much at max, 67.2 should be the max on a 60 volt scooter, so it is fully charged, the battery. This is the throttle display that looks similar to the Mini Motors i3 display, but this one is designed for sine wave controllers. Nice buttons right here for the horn, a button for the light, which is actually relatively pretty bright for a budget-friendly scooter. And then turn signal indicators, which we're very impressed with.
Headlight is bright, the turn signals are bright, the brake lights are bright, the lighting is very good on this scooter.
Yeah, we're used to seeing pretty crummy lights on scooters that are below $2,000, so For this one being below a $2,000 scooter, we're very impressed with the lights on it. It's got your Zod hydraulic brake levers up here, which lead down to the 160 millimeter brake disc, and then your hydraulic brake calipers right here. Coil suspension right here. Some companies call this hydraulic suspension. There's like maybe a couple drops of oil in there. It's really just a coil suspension. Your bright light here, which has 4 LEDs inside of it. And then this is, I don't know exactly, this would be more your control arm. This is a very unique scooter, so I don't know what you would call this. What do you guys call it out there in YouTube land? You have your side LED lights, which are red. Those are pretty neat. We think there might be a cover that's missing for it because it looks like there's a slot.
When I put my finger in there, I'm touching the actual LED lights.
This fender does look pretty good though. It looks like a pretty well-designed fender. It's wet right now and we're gonna find out if it's good or not.
It's solid. The thing that strikes me with this scooter is just the clean lines and the unique look. It has kind of this honeycomb lattice look to it. In the back, you've got this effect there. These handlebar grips. It's got a little bit of a honeycomb effect too. It just doesn't look like the clones of all the other scooters that are out there. It doesn't matter how good a scooter looks or how different it looks if it doesn't perform well. We're gonna put on our I want to say ski gear, because that's what it looks like out there. Maybe in an hour or two we can go skiing. But we're gonna put on our cold weather gear and we're gonna take this out for a spin. All right, Andrew, everyone wants to know, how is the suspension on this thing? It's got the unique suspension design. Can you feel a difference?
Yeah, I can tell a huge difference in how the suspension is designed. And what I mean by that is coil suspension is normally really soft. And with this designed horizontally rather than vertically, it's a lot more stiff. So I could see this doing much better at high speeds than the other scooters that have suspension that looks normal.
So we've reached a point of no return. Well, actually, we are going to return. I don't think we're going to go through that. So we'll head back and find another place so where we can sit down, collect our thoughts, and talk about the scooter some more.
But yeah, it's really nice and controlled and smooth. I would love to ride this in dry conditions. The front fender is not very good. As I can see it kind of, it's not terrible. It's just not doesn't do full coverage, but the rear fender is really good at covering the range. But ultimately, really solid sounding scooter. You do hear that slight brake rotor rubbing, which I could easily fix, but everything else about the scooter is really quiet and really well built.
There's only so much we can do in these cold, wet conditions, so we're going to have to wait till things dry up, and then we're going to take it out for another spin as soon as the weather dries.
Squeezing in a speed test with the Draggy. We've had a few snowstorms, a break in weather. Actually, it's been like 62 degrees the past couple days. Today's been 64 yesterday, 62 today, and it's about to snow tomorrow. So warm before the storm. Just waiting for this traffic to clear up. 67 volts right now. Speed option 3. Take off here. Right about now. Oh, it's got some pretty good takeoff. Made the tires go. 45 on the display, 51, 55, 58, 60, 64, 65, 68, 70, 72 kilometers on the display, 73, 75. What a fast scooter. Caught up to these people. Didn't expect to catch up this fast. Some good brakes. Let's see where we're at. We did hit 40 miles per hour. We hit 44 miles per hour. Wow, that was nice. The kickstand isn't very good. I did not expect to hit 44 miles per hour on this. I didn't even expect it to go past 40, so I didn't even have settings to go above 40. Felt really nice. Felt really stable, actually. So that I am impressed with. Let's go. Oh, maybe my tire spin out. How's it going? So we hit 45 miles per hour. Wow, that was pretty good. So not bad at all. Feels great for a tall person. So I'm like 6 feet tall. Feels perfect height for me. It's icy. Risking our lives for you guys, so give us a thumbs up. I've been riding on a lot of ice lately. Just kind of scary. You'll be going, roads look good, and then they're nice and slippery, like right up here. If you see this is a little sketch to ride on. I hate riding on this stuff. Actually, just keep your momentum and don't spin out too fast. See, that was sketch. That was real sketch. I should have been that brake rotor. That's a little obnoxious, but for the most part, this scooter sounds really solid. There's no creaks so far. We'll have to update you after 1,000 miles because that's when creaks tend to show up in the future. They're not always apparent at first. Really smooth. It's fast too. The scooter's really fast. Good acceleration. Yep, makes the tire spin out every time you pull the trigger. That's what's nice. It's ready to go every time. This is a semi-decent sized hill. Just climbing right up it. Cruising up it, no problem. And they kept climbing up the hill. This is a good hill climber. Woo! This is epic. I love this park. This little big old sundial. I said little sundial at first, but it's massive. See how the suspension does off-roading. So it does well on regular stuff. Right now it's a little wet too. Oh. Suspension feels good on here. It's a little socked in here too. This is a good suspension for hitting streets and little imperfections, off-roading trails like this. So yeah, it's a little bumpy, but nothing crazy. This definitely does better on streets. So I'd say this works on off-roading, but light off-roading for sure. Not any heavy off-roading. The lights look really cool. I do like the little side LED lights that are red. Okay. Brakes are a little squeaky. Squeak, squeak, squeak. Overall, I like the scooter. Really smooth. Love sine wave controllers. They're awesome. This is just really smooth. The way this scooter takes off is a lot smoother than most others. If you're looking to ride this and replace your car to go to work and want to take it on a semi-dirt or a dirt trail every once in a while or packed gravel, this is a great choice for you. I don't feel it shimmy or shaking above 40 miles per hour, which is nice because some of the scooters can get sketch once they go over 30 miles per hour. Doesn't need a steering damper to go fast. Could benefit from a steering damper, and you can buy them. Woo! This is fun. Ooh, that was a pretty big, decent bump. So yeah, I hit a pretty big divot on the ground, and this scooter handled it well. I should have adjusted the brake calipers, but to me, it's not worth my time taking it off and on right now. I'm busy at work, and I barely got this ride in for you guys. This suspension's handling well. That might be my sister-in-law behind me. But no, it's handling really well at high speeds. Accelerates fast. This is a really cool scooter.
At the beginning of this video, we said that if we liked this scooter, then Kreo Motors would carry, sell, and service it. Well, if you've made it this far in the video, then you know what we think of the Blade X. It's pretty sweet. It's fast and powerful, yet handles smoothly like e-scooters that cost much more. Read more about it at gotscooter.com. Thanks for watching, and remember, when you ride, wear your safety gear.